Hi everyone. So I'm kind of balancing my camera on my knees and you're probably wondering what happened here. Yes, I like to be fancy with makeup, but this time I have this really big pimple. If you watch my YouNow, I have this really big pimple right under here. And it was in a really inconvenient spot, but anyways, I filmed a tutorial on how to cover a weirdly placed pimple because I'm hilarious like that. But anyways, today I'm going to be kind of talking about, I'm going to talk about how I become a lot more confident, or where my confidence sort of came from. I'm sorry if the camera is kind of like shaky right now. Before I do that, the Tumblr quote of the day, because I haven't done it in so long and I kind of miss it. The Tumblr quote of the day is, "You go your way, I'll go your way too." I thought it was just the sweetest thing ever, like, you go your way, I'll go your way too. You know, I don't know, I just liked it. I thought it was, ow, I just scratched my nape. But anyways, I'm sorry, my hair's kind of messy. I haven't really brushed it at all. Like, this is a bleh video, but still talking about my self-confidence. Well, people a lot of the time ask me for advice, and a lot of people assume that I'm really, really confident because I'm in front of the camera and I'm talking, and sometimes I don't have really nice makeup on, or sometimes I don't even brush my hair like today, or sometimes I'm crying and stuff, and they ask me, hey, how do you become so confident with that? And my response is, the camera is different than, you know, reality, than talking to people. You know, a camera cannot judge you. And I know I'm going to be putting this out for the public, and the public's going to see this. I'm just trying to make sure this doesn't shake. And the public's going to see this, but you kind of make excuses to yourself, like, hey, this is just a troll and stuff. And so it doesn't really bother you that much. For me, I've never really got really hurt by hate unless if it was someone I cared about, but other people are different. How I actually started to become more confident and have higher self-esteem was because I started to do the phrase, you know, fake it until you make it. So when someone would compliment me and they'd be like, hey, you're skinny, I wouldn't say thank you because I didn't believe it. So I didn't believe that I should say thank you because I truly didn't believe it. It would just be fake. So I'd be like, oh, you know, of course I am. You know, I just kind of like joke around. A lot of people don't see that side of me on the internet, but I'm a really jokey person. I'm not hilarious, but I have a really like weird sense of humor. I make a lot of jokes. So if someone's like, hey, I love your hair, I'll be like, oh, of course you do, you know. Of course you do. Or I'll be like, oh, so you didn't like it yesterday? You know, kind of like that, kind of like where I don't accept it, but I don't give them a chance to make it look like I'm fishing for compliments. Basically, it's all part of my deceptive type of personality. So I don't want them to see, you know, whether I accept it or not. I kind of just like water it down, just make it look like just trying to make them not think about it, you know. So faking it until you make it. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with that, but that's what worked with me. I followed advice that my boss gave me, and it was when I first started waitressing. She said, you're nervous and you're shaking, but when you're in front of the customers, you cannot show that. You have to pretend that you know everything, and if you don't know something, you say, wait, let me go ask the chef, you know, if they're asking for something. But whatever you do, you hold your head up high when you walk. You own the restaurant, you control the restaurant, because if you show that you're vulnerable and that you're scared and that you're worried, people will take advantage of you. And that's absolutely true. You know, if I would be worried in front of a customer, give them a plate and they'll be like, they taste it, they don't like it, and they're like, I didn't order this, and deep inside I know for a fact that they ordered it, but I was nervous, so they would take advantage of it. But if I would be more confident, that I would, you know, they wouldn't really take advantage of me. And that's one of the best advice I got for starting work. And after she told me that, I just became a way better waitress, and I was just really proud because that actually does work, and it works with everyday life. Sorry, I'm just adjusting myself because I feel like I have a double chin. And it works with everyday life. I guess when you show people, like, hey, I'm confident, hey, I have a high self-esteem, and deep inside you don't, the more you try to convince someone else, you're kind of convincing yourself. But in reality, I realized that you have to convince yourself that you're an amazing and beautiful person, or other people won't believe you as easily. People will believe you, but you start to realize, you know, your close friends are going to realize that you aren't that confident, and that you do have insecurities. And that is the lovely thing about friendship, you know, where they start to dig at you because they realize, like, hey, you do have weight issues, or you do have insecurities. You could look at like models, you know. It's 4 o'clock. Okay, you know, models, you know, you think that they're super confident because they're beautiful, they're skinny, they have nice skin, they can be in front of a camera, be in front of people, be in front of the press. But in reality, they do have insecurities. And because they are constantly being judged, they of course will have insecurities. Even if everyone does idolize them, deep inside, you know, the harshest critic is usually yourself, you know. Obviously, I don't know, I can't, okay, a gem just fell. Yeah, for what I know, the toughest critic is usually yourself. And I don't know about that with narcissists or anything, but when people hate me and they're like, someone has told me, like, no one hates you more than I do. And I didn't reply to that person, and I just said in my head, I was like, no, that's stupid, because the toughest critic for me is myself, you know. Sometimes I feel like I'm a really big perfectionist like that. I definitely have an all or nothing personality. I'll make a whole video about that. But with self-confidence, what I would say is people are attracted to positive vibes, you know. If you're smiling on the street, people respond to that more, you know, they like it. Even if you're not the most beautiful person ever, or you're not a typical type beauty, you know. If you're walking on the street and you're smiling, not even smiling, but your eyes are lit up, you know, that is beautiful. It's like when I realize when I go clubbing, sometimes one girl, she's not a great dancer, she's not doing all these sexy moves, but she's smiling when she's dancing, she's looking at her friends, she's making people dance with her. And then you automatically believe that she is a brilliant dancer. And it could be deceptive, but if she's having a fun time, then why should anyone criticize her, you know? I had a fair share, you know, of having major insecurities where it affected the way I acted towards people, it affected my relationships. The problem and what I realized in society is that you're hated for being insecure, but you're also hated for being conceited or loving yourself. Loving yourself isn't something that has been really accepted in society, which is weird because, you know, if you love yourself, then you're conceited, you're cocky, you're narcissistic. You know, self-esteem doesn't just affect you. It affects the people around you, you know. And I'm saying that as if I had a friend who was very insecure and a lot of people loved her, and I loved her, and I thought she looked beautiful, and, you know, when she criticizes herself in front of me, I know she's not fishing for compliments, but it affects me too, because then I question, is that something I should be worried about? You know, she'd maybe be like, oh, hey, I have love handles. And I'd think to myself, what are they? And then, you know, I would ask her and she would tell me, and I'd say, you know, muffin tops or something. And then I never thought it was a problem. I never thought that was something that people criticize. And then it came to my head and I was like, yeah, that is. Do I have them? What if I get them? You know, stuff like that. So it affected me like that. And it affected me seeing someone I cared about put themselves down when, to me, I didn't idolize them, but I thought they were so beautiful. You know, insecurities and your self-esteem affect the people around you. And that's the sad truth about it. And when I say fake it till you make it, you know, it's just kind of a way that I did it, you know. It might not work for everybody, but that's how I did it, because when I started pretending that I'm super confident, and, you know, the bigger the better, and the more, you know, I'd go really extreme with my fashion or with my makeup, or I'd go very extreme, you know. Who can wear the shorter shorts? I would be wearing the shorter shorts, you know. But whatever it was just kind of a way to cover up my insecurities by making it look like I was super confident. I'd try different fashion senses, and even though I was very nervous going out on the street thinking I looked kind of like a weirdo, when someone would give me a compliment about it, I'd be like, oh yeah, you know, I like the style, and I'd just smile and just be like, yeah, I got this, I can pull this off, when in reality I'm very nervous, you know, fake it until you make it. This is what this whole video is about. When people say to me that they're crying and they feel like their life is ending, and I usually don't like when people are so negative to me like that, but it reminds me, I don't really tell them this, but what I did when I would be crying, especially out in public, I'd force myself to smile. And when you force yourself to smile, it feels unnatural because you're crying. When you force yourself to smile, and to me, I always looked insane when I did it. I felt insane and I looked insane, but when you smile, you know, there's some type of chemicals that are released and it automatically kind of makes you feel better. Or at least maybe that's how, you know, belief works. So I'd smile and I'd start listening to happy music, and that's when I started to feel like I was going insane, basically. So I don't know if that works for everyone, but that's how it worked for me. You know, things would be coming down and things would just be crashing and I'd just smile. I just smile because it was a way to convince myself that everything was okay. And I'm starting to doubt, you know, what I'm preaching right now, but, you know, obviously everyone's gonna have different ways of how they make themselves confident or how they make themselves, you know, less insecure or have a higher self-esteem. But that's just how I did it. I should probably wrap this up. Okay, I don't know if I did this Tumblr quote of the day already. Oh yeah, I already did it. Okay, anyways, bye.